Hello. How are you doing? It's November 29th, Tuesday. And let's cue that music down. How are you doing today, bud?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Wait 1 second. We don't do shows anymore without a sports coat on. Oh. I was just dressed in black because I just got back. I literally have not been home all day. And then I got to leave as soon as we finish the show. We actually got to finish it a little bit earlier today because I got to go to the Festival of Trees with Santa to cover that for a news package.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be boring as fuck. But we have a show for y'all today. And that show is the Timberwolves are a mess. Karl-Anthony Towns suffered a calf strain. There's no structural damage to the Achilles, but we all know that our man Kevin Durant suffered a calf strain that had no structural damage to the Achilles, and then he came back a few weeks later and blew it out against the Toronto Raptors in the NBA Finals. Now, we also are going to talk about the MVP race, which is led by, Devin Booker might be, the guy. Indiana Pacers, we'll talk about that, and also the blockbuster trade 1 year ago. And OG Anunoby, Herb Jones, Toronto Raptors, a little bit of Pelicans. Billy Don got extended. Let's get right into it. Where do you want to start? Should we just start off with the most popular of news, Karl-Anthony Towns?
Yeah.
All right. How are you doing today? I didn't ask.
You did ask. I'm great. Then I asked you, and you were, that might have been when you got your sports jacket.
Yeah, so go fuck
I'm
yourself.
great. I'm great. USA victory.
Yeah, they got lucky.
Okay.
You guys almost got beat by Persians.
We're undefeated, so.
Oh, wow. Is that Shadar?
I remember your team was a loss, right?
Yeah. Wow. You're going to throw shade at Argentina? Yeah, we lost to some jihads. I don't know if we can say. Is that an offensive term?
Yeah, I would.
It is?
I would imagine. Yeah.
I feel like it used to not be. I used to say it in high school. I used to call people, like in class. My teacher taught me how to spell jihad.
I don't think so.
I used to yell out jihadist and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, definitely not anymore. Maybe back. Maybe back then. Definitely not anymore.
Yeah, back then 5 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Senior year high school?
My senior year's high school was 6 years ago. 5 years.
Oh, your fifth year?
No, I took 2 years off, you asshole.
Oh, that's right.
I took a 2-year sabbatical gap year. Let's talk about the Karl-Anthony Towns injury. And Karl-Anthony Towns, if you guys didn't see the video, he had an on-contact injury and he went to the ground. It literally did look like he suffered an Achilles tear if I've ever seen one. And because he literally did the whole thing where you fall and you grab your ankle as if someone stepped on it. Because everyone says if you blow out your Achilles, it feels like someone stepped on you and it sounds like a gun went off. But let's talk about Karl-Anthony Towns. The Minnesota Timberwolves star Karl-Anthony Towns is expected to miss several weeks with a right calf strain, the team announced Tuesday. He could miss a month or more, league sources told The Athletic. Here's what you need to know. Towns exited Monday's game against the Washington Wizards after appearing to suffer the non-contact injury in the midst of the third quarter as he ran up the floor. He went down and grabbed at the back of his leg before needing to be helped off the floor and into the Minnesota locker room. And MRI revealed a calf strain, the team announced, confirming hopes after the game that Towns had avoided a more serious injury to his Achilles tendon. And, we've seen Towns fall to his ground so many times. And they write right here that this one looked different because he had only scored 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists before this. And he literally did what I said earlier and had the shot bitten, stepped on, what most people do when it's Achilles tendon. So the good news is that the calf strain shows no structural damage to the Achilles, but it'll be reevaluated. And I made a joke with some friends that what if the Timberwolves are better without Karl-Anthony Towns when he's gone?
Oh, they will be 100%.
Why is that?
It won't even be close, actually.
Why is that?
Oh, well, they're going to be able to move into the lane. I mean, I don't think it's any surprise or what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think it's any coincidence that Anthony Edwards had 29 points last night and it was his best game of the season. So I actually will go as far to say as they definitely will be better with our Karl Anthony Towns. They'll start winning again. Do we know how long he's out? And then I'll actually
At least a month.
At least a
just said
month.
that.
Yeah, they're gonna get into the top 6, 100%. And I actually guarantee you now, because Anthony Edwards will start to play better, and hold me to this, Anthony Edwards won't be here for. I'd go 720 days. I feel like that's a little too much. I think 1 year from now, I would not be surprised if Anthony Edwards was either on a different team or.
Shut up! We
gonna
would never leave. No, Anthony
it's gonna
Edwards is
happen.
going to get so. No, we're not.
Yeah.
We would trade everybody on this franchise before letting Anthony Edwards walk out of the door. Okay.
Well, then
You
you
are
are trade
factually.
Cat
Yeah, that's fine. I don't give
or
a fuck.
Gobert.
Okay, that's cool.
I
I'll
don't
trade
know
the whole
if I'm
goddamn
Anthony
team before I
If
get
I'm
rid of
Anthony Edwards, I'm
Edwards.
like, well, my
Dude, I'm
GM's
buying.
my
I'm
GM
buying
paid
Anthony
5
Edwards a
first-round
country.
picks for this bum.
Okay,
We're
look,
below 500, and you give up 5 first-round picks for this guy. Why would I want to stay here? Minneapolis is a great city. I don't know if it'll be enough though.
Look, we will do everything. We'll buy him a country. We'll buy him a plane. Like Lance Leipold just got from KU $150,000 in annual expenses, country club membership with green fees paid for, and for 2 free cars in part of his contract negotiation. So this motherfucker has $150K to fly around the world in a private jet of his own and has the greens paid for at a country club. So if that's what they're giving to a D1 football coach, look, they're going to give Anthony Edwards a castle, part of the franchise, a couple escorts, an island or two, and he'll be fine. He'll stay in Minnesota. But the thing is like you said, it's going to clear the lane. Anthony Edwards has complained publicly that part of the reason why he isn't scoring as well, why isn't there much success offensively, is due to the fact that he doesn't have room to go to the lane. And yes, Rudy's still going to be there. But now when Rudy's off the floor, you can put Naz Reid out there who can shoot threes. You can run small ball with Kyle Anderson. Maybe we see even less of Rudy on the floor. Maybe they realize Rudy just needs to play 25 minutes a night. Or maybe Rudy starts to play 40 minutes a night and they just tell Rudy, get the fuck out the way and give a launch pad for Anthony Edwards. I think, yes, in agreement, that this is going to do a lot more good for the Minnesota Timberwolves than bad, because we're going to see all the other players get. And maybe this opens the door that when Karl Anthony comes back and they're just like, hey, and I'm a Timberwolves fan, if they go, hey, maybe if we just package Russell and Cat, we could actually get a bunch of players to rebuild our depth and get up maybe a starter or two. So instead we build around Gobert and Edwards and we get ourselves a new.
I think they're gonna have to do that. You know what? I don't think Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards like each other. Or if they don't hate each other, I think one day they will. I don't know what Karl Anthony Towns like. Maybe if he could step up when it matters, like once, then I would take his word. But if I'm like arguably almost a better player than you, all around better player than you, and I'm only a couple years into the league, and you're telling me to stop eating Popeyes, like I'm pretty sure you can go fuck yourself. So. It's not like Karl Anthony Towns is Mr. Fitness. So
that's what I'm saying. Is like, what if, you get hit up, and I'm trying to put it traded together in my head.
He's just soft.
I know. Soft. So a team, maybe like Orlando, calls you up and they're like, hey, we'll send you Markelle Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, Terrence Ross,
and
Gary Harris. No, shut up.
It's already a no. Give me, or is Paolo Banchero?
Shut up! You're not letting me finish the trade.
Is at the end of this trade? I already know it's retarded. So
D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns is like $60 million right there. So 17 for Jonathan Isaac. I think it's like 20 for Markelle. That brings you to 37. 14. Okay, 14 for Gary Harris, and then 10 for Terrence Ross. So you get in a first, maybe 1 or 2 first-round picks. So they get Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell. The Timberwolves get themselves Jonathan Isaac.
You're trying to double
Ross,
dip
Gary Harris, and Markelle Fultz. And you know what's the best part is Gary Harris is on the books for 1 more year. Terrence Ross is expiring. Jonathan Isaac has team options. Okay. No, because that means the T-Wolves, if they wanted to, they can get rid of all those guys at the end of the season and then go out And they also got
What?
themselves 2 first-round picks in this deal, so they regained some of the assets that they lost, and they can go out to free agency, give out a max contract, and they get themselves 2 3-and-D guys in Terrence Ross, actually 3 3-and-D guys in Terrence Ross, Jonathan Isaac, and Gary Harris at the shooting guard, small forward, and power forward position, and they get a point guard in Markelle Fultz.
I don't know the answer of this question, but I imagine it's around the number of 50. Markelle Fultz and Jonathan Isaac have been in this league for several seasons, and I don't know if
Markelle
either of them
Fultz
have
is a
ever
good
played
player.
over 25 games a year.
Markelle Fultz has played like
Okay,
60
congratulations.
games.
So is Karl-Anthony Towns. So is D'Angelo Russell. You know, D'Lo's on the last year of his contract. I'm not desperately trying to unload his money as far as money goes. I'm trying to unload D'Lo because it's clearly not working. But the issue isn't D'Lo. The issue is these two twin towers right here suck together. So if I'm the GM of the Timberwolves and I hear that, I know I'm giving Cats a lot of trash right now, but he's still a superstar. I would actually tell you to go F yourself, but I don't think GMs do that to each other. So I'd probably just laugh in your face and hang up the phone and never take a call back from you. You know, like when you would play like 2K or Madden and you'd send like a ridiculous trade offer and they're so insulted that they don't even want to talk to you. That's what I would do to you.
That's what you do to me. All right. So this trade, though, should be able to work money-wise. Is that, yeah. Okay. So
no one's doing that trade.
Straight up.
Giving up the best shooting big men for 2 guys on expiring contracts and 2 guys who have never played more than 20 games a year. What the hell are you talking about?
Right here. Look at this.
This is retarded. No.
It actually, holy crap, it does actually make the T-Wolves way worse.
No, what do you mean?
Let's adjust the trade. Have them send a Mo Bamba in there.
No, I need Franz Wagner. I need Jalen Suggs. I need Paolo Banchero, and I need Wendell.
Send them the Chicago pick.
No, I need Bobo instead of Wendell. I need your 4 best players. That's what I need.
All right, right here. They get actually look at this. This makes the
T-Wolves
better.
On the bench. They keep getting worse.
I'm a T-Wolves fan. I would take Terrence Ross.
You don't
Mo
seem
Bamba,
like
Jonathan
a
Isaac, Markelle
Fultz.
I'm a realist.
Clearly not. I don't. It's maybe if like D'Lo was like shooting like 3 and 4 on 10% shooting, and they're like, oh my god, we have to do something. Even at that point.
You suck.
I think if D'Lo was out for the season, I still wouldn't do that trade.
All right. So let's go right here. We're going to do the NBA MVP tracker. And you said Devin Booker should win it.
Well, no, I meant that as just I think you could make the argument for it.
So I think right now, Jason Tatum's in first place. I'm surprised that they have Nikola Jokic winning it for a 3rd time. If the NBA ended, I mean, I guess so. He is playing amazing right now. He's shooting 62% from the field, which is like ridiculous, averaging 23 points. He's just continuing to do what he did last year. Like Jokic is on like a 3-year stretch where what he's doing is just ridiculous. But I think honestly, right now, if the season did end, it's Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, I think Luka Doncic is in 2nd place. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Why?
Because if he wasn't starting, they'd be
9 and 10.
They'd be a tanking team if Doncic.
They haven't won a single game where he scores less than 30.
That's why he's MVP.
He has to score. He can't be 9. He can't be MVP.
He has to score 30 for them to win.
Tough fucking luck for you. They're 9 and 10. He's not an MVP.
3rd place is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I say 4th place for me is Devin Booker, and 5th place. This is a doozy because I have 5th place like as like a 5-way tie between like Tyrese Halliburton, Shea, Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, and like Steph Curry.
Yeah, it was clear to me the last time we did the NBA MVP tracker to not listen to a single word you say when it comes to MVP voting. So
what do you mean?
Out of the 2 of
us, there's a better chance of me becoming a voter.
Yeah, and that's the issue with this planet is we got the Athletic. We got these sport coat suit nerds. I'm just kidding, but No, I would go probably, yeah, Jokic is right there because they're so good. But I would probably go Tatum, Booker, and Jokic. I would go Booker then Jokic probably because I mean Booker's doing all this. They're the first seed in the West, and Booker's doing all this without Chris. He's doing this without Cam. He's doing this without Jay. They've been dealing with a lot of injuries, and they honestly look better without Chris Paul. But I don't mean that to discredit Chris. I just think it's kind of the way it's going right now. So yeah, we'll see. It's good MVP year. Devin Booker was on a heater last night. It was awesome to see. Jokic is good. Tatum's good. And yeah, Luke, I know Luka's very talented, but he's not my MVP. Steph Curry is probably actually number 3 for me, ahead of Jokic. So.
No, I agree.
You want to talk about something real quick?
What do you want to talk about? That you're gay?
Classic. There's like every week this year so far in the NBA, it's like we'll have like 13 games yesterday, and then there will be like 2 today.
Tuesdays and Thursdays are the NBA's for like slow days, and then
I know, but usually they stagger them better than like 13 games, 3 games, 13 games. Dude, there's 1 game on Thursday. There's 1, and it's not even a TNT. It's like Detroit. I think it's like Detroit Golden State. It's a horrible. It's not must-watch television. Maybe that's because of Thursday Night Football. I don't know. I actually have no idea what the NBA is doing as far as it's just like every Monday everybody plays. I've never seen that before. There's usually like 8, 9, maybe 10 games going on, and then you got like 4 on Tuesday and Thursday. You got the TNTs, and then you got a couple others. I don't know what's going on, to be honest.
I'm
not a fan.
I mean, the NBA is just like so stupid, like how they schedule the games. I mean, it's annoying because Tyrese Halliburton is playing phenomenal. You can't watch him. Jokic, you can't watch him. Okay, you have a tough time if you really want to watch even Cavs games right here, and it's a league where
it's very hard. Yeah.
Another thing that I want to talk about is, can we talk about how many of these guys, 5 of these guys are averaging 30 points, 7 of these guys are averaging over 28. Basically, 8 of these guys are averaging 28, and only 2 guys right here are averaging under 25 points. Only 1 guy is averaging 20 points. Crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah, NBA is changing. I think we're becoming I think we're getting back to defense. I think it'll take a couple of years.
I mean, we're having the most 30-point scorers of all time. We're not going back to defense.
Yeah, I just think when you look at I think when Golden State ends, I mean, you got Golden State, Milwaukee, Boston. These are like 3 phenomenal defensive teams. I think that's a huge reason for their success. And I think Toronto's trying to not emulate. I think they're trying to emulate the defensive side of it with a twist as far as interchangeability goes. And I think other teams are soon to follow. We kind of saw with Cleveland last year and Minnesota this year, and those didn't work. But I don't know. Look at the Cavs, man. They suck without Jared Allen. Like, no disrespect, defensively, they suck without him. I mean, they're actually miserable without Jared Allen.
So
defensively,
I think we're getting to a league where, okay, you need like 2 to 3 good ass perimeter defenders on the floor. You need 2 good perimeter defenders on the floor while having. This is why a lot of centers are like being an offensive center whose skill set is like inside, unless you're like Joel Embiid or like Jokic or somebody isn't. You really want a big man. Like, more teams are looking at like the Jared Allens, the Clint Capellas, you got yourself also Kevon Looney. There's another good example. Jakob Poeltl,
Robert
Wills. These guys that they can score if needed around the basket, like a putback. The more pick and roll scores or anything. They can pass a little. A few of them might take threes, but really they don't really take threes. They're just there to rebound and protect the rim, and they know their role and they don't do anything. That's why, like, when Bam Adebayo is like kind of confusing, because like you're hoping that Bam was going to turn into like Joel Embiid and like one of the other guys where like he was going to be able to have like the offensive game where you told him like, oh, it's fine that you're doing that, but sometimes it's like, hey, maybe you should turn it back a little, and like like, and it's just when you look at this list right here, you have guys. I don't want to say ISO ball, but every single one of these guys on this list can take any player in the league one-on-one. And that's inside or outside. That's what you're saying. Not a single guy here shoots like Jokic is the guy who shoots the least amount of threes, and it's 2 a game.
Yeah.
Jokic puts up fucking 23 points a night on 8.5 made field goals, 13.5 attempts.
I got a rebuttal for that, though.
What?
How many of the players on this list have a, what do you call it? Oh, a ring. The answer is 3.
3.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
It's cool and all, but I also need a team around me.
And how many of these guys have made it to Western Conference Finals? Like everyone on the list? Except for like Tyrese.
Several.
And
Tyrese, Mitchell.
Mitchell's wait, didn't the Jazz make it to Western Conference? Or did they only make it to the semi?
I don't think so. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm messing that one up, but I don't.
I think they've only made it to the semi.
Yeah, the semi's the.
So 3 guys, right? 3 guys. Mitchell, Ja, and Tyrese are the only guys who haven't made it to a Western Conference final.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
I mean, a lot of these guys are young. Yeah, I don't know. It's you need a little bit of everything. I guess is kind of the point. Like Tatum's awesome, man. He's one of the best players in the league. He's my MVP. But at the end of the day, like Andrew Wiggins saved the Golden State Warriors dynasty, right? I still don't know if Jason Tatum can beat. I don't know if they still need. You know what I'm saying until I see it, because I saw last year Andrew Wiggins do what he does best against Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics offense. Like, it's great having him, but that lockdown defender on the perimeter, like you were saying, it's just a difference maker to me. It's a huge.
Yeah, I mean that's why Andrew Wiggins was re-signed.
Yeah,
he was the difference maker. But let's move over to a guy who is a great conversation. This guy's the defensive player of the year right now for me.
Yeah.
OG Anunoby, the British import. Okay, is he from London? I believe so. I don't know. He's from United States.
He is from London.
But man, I believe it is London. But god damn, has this guy been good. He has been phenomenal. And I want to pull up the actual stat that it's over here. And it's right here. Somebody put up a stat last night. OG Anunoby's defense over the last 5 games against Donovan Mitchell. He forced 28% shooting, Donovan Mitchell. Luka Doncic shot 5 for 12 from the field, 2 turnovers. Kevin Durant shot 2 for 6 from the field, 4 turnovers. DeJounte Murray shot 1 from 5 from the field. Jimmy Butler was 1 for 4 from the field, 2 turnovers. OG Anunoby, if you're playing against him, don't think you're scoring. You're not. You're just straight up not. OG Anunoby is literally making you hurry. It's not even funny. He's just been so phenomenal. It's been fun. And the best part is he's also scoring great this year in terms of shooting 47% from the field on 19 points, 35% from 3, 6 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 2.5 steals, and a block a game. OG Anunoby has taken off, okay? He's slowly progressed little by little, the 25-year-old, the British man.
And he stayed healthy.
And he's staying healthy, yeah. And he's playing like 40 minutes a night, 37 a night.
Yeah, dude, I think he's the X factor. What's up, TP? Came perfectly in time. That's what she said. I think the injuries to Siakam, Freddie, Lil Boucher, but Otto, Precious, like all these little injuries, and then the bigger ones leaving extended absences. It's crazy because so I drafted OG Anunoby in my fantasy league, and I've been really on this radar. I also enjoy watching the Raptors, and he was only taking like 10 shots a night in the first month of this season. They played 7 basketball games in October, and he was only shooting 13.5 points a night. He was only taking like 10, 11 shots. And then these injuries start to pile up, and it's like, all right, OG, like they kind of really need you to be that guy. And that's exactly what he's doing. Like what you were saying, I mean, he's putting up 22 points a night. The craziest part is he's giving me like 2.5 steals. He's giving me a block a game. He's shooting solid from downtown, like 35% on the season. He's, attacking the rim. He's just turning into the OG Anunoby that we all were kind of thinking would eventually happen. And, we were just talking about Andrew Wiggins. OG Anunoby is the X factor for the Toronto Raptors. I know Scotty Barnes gets a lot of praise and stuff, but like a healthy OG Anunoby taking that jump, especially on the offensive end, because we know defensively he's clamped. If he's just healthy and Toronto gets him to the playoff, like, dude, I don't know. I'm not saying Toronto's going to win the finals, but I still fully believe that they're going to make a nice run at it. And long term, they're so set up well. And, I know Shaedon Sharpe's a really talented basketball player, but I'm very excited that he stayed with the Toronto Raptors and that they still have him.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of rumblings, and we reported on it that, and I made videos on my own channel talking about our man that maybe potentially something that he wanted out, and because he wasn't happy with the hierarchy of the shots. But this year, I think a lot of the success is because of OG Anunoby, and with Pascal being out, I think OG Anunoby kind of asserted himself. And he's what I call an opportunistic scorer. He can create for himself, but he's really good at taking advantage of opportunities. In that sense, if you give him a little bit too much space, he's confident enough to pull it up in your face. Okay, he's confident enough in his length and athleticism that in transition, you throw the ball out and ahead of him, he's going to catch it like a wide receiver and lay it up. And I think that's a big thing that people are overlooking. And I think it's been a rather enjoyable sight to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun. It's fun. I think OG next year, maybe even by the end of this year, he's a 20-point scorer.
Yeah, if he continues the trajectory he's on right now. And real quick, I'll add it up to finish my Raptor talk is we saw last night a lot of returns. Siakam came back, but we saw Gary Trent on the bench and we saw Scotty Barnes off the bench. And I think it's actually genius. I really do. Gary Trent has not been good for Toronto this year. Scotty's been super solid, but these are guys who I don't know, Thaddeus, and I was so confused why Thaddeus was getting no run at the start of the season. This, to me, isn't that long-term because you're still missing Precious, Otto. You're still missing some guys, but I thought it was really nice to see because Gary looked like Gary last night.
It did.
Scotty, but it's just like interesting. So I'm glad Nick Nurse is kind of toying with it. I don't think it's, long-term sticking Gary's off the bench for the rest of the season. Scotty's off the bench for the rest of the season, but I think it's going to kind of force guys like Gary to pick it up a little bit, and it opens the door, like you're saying, for OG even more so.
I agree, and it's going to help this team out. And it's just, I think Nick Nurse was doing what all good coaches do and tinkering with the lineup as the season in the beginning of the season, because this is when you need to take advantage of tinkering of the lineup. So when playoff time comes, you're not just throwing paint at the wall and hoping that something sticks. And for me, I think this is huge and part of the reason why Nick Nurse is one of, if not the most underrated coach in the NBA. But moving on, I think there's another guy in the NBA who in a few seasons might pass or be better than OG Anunoby, and that is Herb Jones for the New Orleans Pelicans. He's had a quiet year, some might say, for them in terms of scoring, as he's been basically their 5th or 6th option at times, but Herb Jones is a guy that over the last few games, listen to this. Last night, for example, on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he forced him 2 for 9 on field goals, 22%, 0 for 3 on three-pointers, 4 forced turnovers, and 3 blocked shots. And Herb Jones is the defensive lifeblood of the perimeter D for this Pelicans team. Herb Jones, the man, playing 28 minutes a night. He's scoring 10.5 points, which is actually more than he was last year. But his stats are basically the same, and maybe one might argue a little less efficient. But I think personally, he is just been stellar. He's shooting right now, I know 53% true shooting, but just all over the floor. He's the ultimate glue guy. And yeah, Thomas, you said it right. The Pelicans are low-key stacked. Thoughts on Herb Jones?
Yeah, man. A lot of people were saying that all offseason. For some reason, people weren't listening. But yeah, Herb, it even goes a little bit further than that. I mean, it's, you said he went 2 of 20, 2 of 9 last night, forced him to 4 turnovers, blocked 3 shots. He had 4 steals. He's the, what are they? I think, was it Stonk Monster in fantasy? I think was what they call him. I drafted Herb Jones as well because I'm an absolute superstar stud at fantasy basketball. But Herb is that dude, man. He's very good defensively, and he'll have those offensive nights where he puts up 20 or close to 20. He's man, if he ever gets a 3-point shot, he shot 40% in the playoffs last year on just 1 less 3, but he's very young. So like if he ever gets going on offense, he's kind of also reminds me of like not Kawhi Leonard as far as gameplay goes, game style goes, but like similar trajectories like OG, Kawhi. I don't think it's that crazy.
I think he's cut from the same cloth as those guys, and that's the best part about it is that I really do believe that he's going to just be a guy that's just going to continue getting better, and maybe in year 5 he becomes a 20-point scorer. I just think right now he's just not going to be a 20-point scorer yet due to the fact that all the guys in front of him. And there's nothing. Yeah, he doesn't need to. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no shame in it. It's just right now, focus on defense, doing all the little things, and then hone your offensive skills. And then maybe when one day Brandon Ingram or CJ McCollum, or I don't think Brandon Ingram would leave, but if CJ McCollum or somebody else leaves and they're like, Herb, we need you to step up. And I think Herb will be ready. He took OG, 5-6 years. And I thank you, Thomas. We were calling it that the Pelicans were a team to watch out for. And out of all the teams that we said to watch out for, we were miserably wrong about the Detroit Pistons or Orlando Magic, and I'll fully admit that. But
yeah, I mean the Cade injury does not help.
But both teams were a lot. Yeah, they were a lot where we both thought they would be like what the Pacers are right now.
And I was very off about the Pacers.
Yeah, we were both.
I'm not sold on all this though. I still think I'm right. But I know right now I'm very wrong.
Some people are saying that like because Adam Silver warned about tanking and finding teams, everyone's like playing good basketball till January, and then they're going to be like, "Oh my God, Tyrese suffered a mysterious injury," and then the Spurs are going to be like, "Oh, Keldon Johnson's having back pain," and like the Spurs are what they're doing is. Oh, we're winning the game going into the 4th quarter. Oh, Keldon Johnson, Jakob Poeltl, and Josh Richardson. You're going to sit in the 4th. We're just going to play Malachi Brown.
Did you see the Rocket game last night? That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, they literally annoying. Yeah, they're winning the game. They're like, oh, they're tired. We're just going to rest.
It wasn't. We weren't even winning. Our starters did not play in the 4th quarter. This was like, and we're playing the Nuggets. The Nuggets were going to win either way. Like. I don't. It's just weird. Yeah.
So let's talk about the Chicago Bulls. They signed head coach Billy Donovan to a contract extension before the start of the season. League sources told The Athletic on Tuesday, and this is what you need to know. Donovan, who last season guided the Chicago Bulls to the playoffs for the first time, ending the 4-year drought. He had 2 years left on his original 4-year deal, and has added several more years. He's 86 and 88 under that currently. The Bulls under Donovan, and his new deal was signed prior to the season. And the backstory is that the president of basketball operations, Artras Karnisovas, hired Donovan in 2020. Karnisovas was lured to Chicago following a 22-win season, and Donovan parted ways with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So they both were Thunder boys. And yeah, basically, why did Chicago extend Donovan? Donovan succeeded in step 1 of his duties, which was restore order within the Bulls and bring the organization back to respectability. He has been rewarded for doing so. Last season's 15-win improvement and subsequent playoff appearance clearly meant a lot in the minds of management. Donovan's extension followed that success, but after just the first 20 games of the season, questions have grown about how far Donovan can lead the Bulls. What happens next? The news of Donovan's extension circulating with the Bulls currently 9-11 might seem to some as though Chicago paid for past or stable production rather than pursuing potential the greater possibilities. That now places scrutiny squarely on Donovan to devise better game plans and deploy more effective lineups. Rarely do NBA coaches last beyond 5 NBA seasons, but the Bulls doubled down on Donovan with only one playoff win in his tenure with the franchise. Donovan, along with current Bulls roster, has a lot to prove, but have an impenetrable ceiling. Donovan hasn't led a team beyond the first round since Kevin Durant played in Oklahoma City. The last time the Bulls made it past the first round, Barack Obama was president. Now the Bulls and Donovan are locked into navigating the journey together for the foreseeable future.
My turn. Is that a big gulp?
McAllister's sweet tea.
I'll save that for after. I rarely talk about the Chicago Bulls because it kind of ties into what I was texting you late last night about, where it's just, if I talk on the Bulls, Packers, etc., it really just kind of takes the love out of my passions. But I'm not a huge. I don't have a huge issue with extending Billy. I know Bulls fans don't like his rotation. Sometimes I question his rotations. I don't know why they did it before the season, but I guess I got to take a step back, look at the bigger picture. We've been such a poverty franchise for a very long time now. I guess since I was a senior in high school, like over 5-6 years ago. Yeah, Barack Obama last playoff win. Like, it just, AK he has a plan, he has a system in place, and it wasn't supposed to happen last year, and it's not supposed to happen this year, and it's just building block. And yeah, you know what? I like Billy. I think he's a great person. He seems like a great person. I saw him one time at Loyola Chicago, and I had to do a double take, a triple, quadruple take. Like, holy shit, it's Billy Donovan. But yeah, I'm only confused why they did it before the season, but yeah. So one of my old professors would always have a big gulp, and he was a big boy, but he'd always have a big gulp every class. I always wondered how they tasted.
Pearl time, just because I got to go soon in like the next few minutes. Oh my God, who has dreads? Jimmy Butler.
Oh, that's stupid.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not Jimmy Butler.
That's on Naz Reid.
Wait, let me see. That's Naz Reid. Fucker. I thought Harold got a haircut. that rolls off the tongue. Oh my God.
Who the fuck is this? He wears 22.
Oh, wait. Oh, he's a forward? Damn. Precious. Could be. Guess Precious. No, yeah, guess Precious.
He's in the
Precious
West.
Achua. That's Precious Achua's here.
He's in the West.
No, that's Precious was just traded from Denver earlier in the year.
Who has dreads like this in the NBA?
I thought it was Clarkson for a second, but it's too long, and he's a forward, not a forward.
Kind of looks like Frank Mason.
The old guard from Kansas.
Yeah, doesn't it? That was a good guess.
No, it's not. He's a guard. What do you mean?
All right, so he's not in the Southwest and he's not in the Northwest.
He's taller than 6'7". He gets Dacian Nix asking me, saying that's a good guess.
He's on the Kings. Oh my God!
Oh, is that Rashawn Holmes? Oh, what? That's your guess?
It is Rashawn Holmes.
That's your fucking guess? What? You tried to jip me, first off, and second off, I'm glad karma. It always comes a knocking.
What do you mean? This was a great fucking guess.
These are poor pictures. There's good ones right there. I'm looking at the good ones.
This was a great fucking guess.
Nah, dude. His hair is not that thick. It's not that deep. You know what I'm saying?
This was a great guess. You can't tell me this wasn't a great guess. He did look like the Predator.
Dude, isn't he 7 feet tall?
No, he's like 6'5".
What? Wait, go back. Can you go back to it? No, the Pirtle, he got up still.
Oh, he was 6'10", 6'9".
Yeah, so
I don't know, man. Fuck you.
Yeah, you have been sucking that cheating. I've been pretty cold, actually.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I do have to go. So we're gonna cue this. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And
Oh yeah, he is only 6'9". Wow. And Holmes started. Okay. All right, I'll see you.
see you, buddy.